Hello, welcome back to the channel. I am I'm inside because it's very windy outside, and I think the cat is in the room. My allergies were playing up today, but anyway, uh I don't know what to say. That's why I didn't record anything yesterday on Sunday, because I am in that position now where I am feeling like I can see myself heading towards an accident, like, a car crash or something. Like, when you going downhill and your brake doesn't work. I don't drive, but I think most people do, so they can relate to this particular um, analogy. And I'm in that stage where I'm just surrendering with the crash. I'm like, okay, let's just crash. And but the problem is, I've been here before the crash, and I know how difficult it was to get myself out of it. But at this time, I feel like I no longer have the energy, nor the desire to pick myself up and make sure that I am out of the hole, um, which is a very dangerous mentality. And of course, like a lot of people, including like AI, the one that I'm talking to, I'm using Claude these days. I'm not using ChatGPT or Gemini again. Is basically like patronizing me. Not that, there are people that capable of patronizing, but it feels like that. It's like, are you okay? You have to make sure that you're okay first before we can continue this conversation. And it annoys the heck out of me. I mean, like, even AI is judging me, and I'm annoyed. Um, I feel like life is just, I don't know. Also, I have come to accept that I have disfigured myself from like an experiment that I did 2 3 years ago. I put like salicylic acid, like 40% on this um here, because there was like, I had a pimple back then, and then now I burnt, and I think I'm scared that it will be skin cancer now. So that is permanent. That dot. I disfigured myself. I feel like this is my life. That is a very good apt of my life. It's like I damage myself a lot. Am I self inflicting pain and damage to myself? What am I wanting to achieve? Like, what kind of behaviors is this? This self destructive behaviors. Okay, this is like probably more of a mistake that is permanent. Um, but also mentally, I feel like I am also doing that, I'm damaging myself or looking at myself, viewing myself from a very disadvantaged point of view. Like, so the self esteem is very much very low. I don't know what to do with myself. That's why I wasn't sure whether I want to record or not, because I know, like, from the very beginning, this particular channel is has nothing to do with other people. It's just me just ranting my life and my, whatever it is that is happening, because that's the purpose for this particular channel, is just for me to use my voice, and also to transfer some of the video chatting before. Um, but everything is heading towards death, meaning not literal death, but like the channel's death or financial death. Everything is not working anymore, and I don't know what to do, nor do I want to figure out what to do. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like I've started over so many times and in my life that I don't have any more energy to start over. My body is not working that well, and my mentally, I feel like I have regressed to become, I don't know. I'm I don't want to offend anyone, but like I feel like my mental ability is disabled somehow. It's like I'm living with disability in some sort. Which if you talk to me, I feel like it won't be apparent because this is like what, only an hour every week or half an hour every week. But it's like my ability to think, to come up with something, or to catch up with anything is diminished and is no longer here. Oh, the cat. You want to see the cat? I don't have it in my jacket. I just have to take it off. It's hot. It's very cold outside though. Hold on, let me get the cat. I don't know if she allows me. She's been biting me because I've been hugging it without its permission. Let's see. Hello. Say hello. Uh, uh, uh. I'm scared. I'm scared. Okay. At least she didn't bite me. And I don't know. I feel like I'm watching myself destroy myself, like destroy my own life. But at the same time, I feel like I'm not destroying my own life. I'm trying to hang on with whatever I can. But the wall is so slippery, and I'm just slipping myself into the abyss, and it's swallowing me. The darkness is swallowing me so whole. And I don't know. I feel like my brain is can't comprehend a lot of new things that are happening in life. When I listen to AI stuff, I'm like, I don't really get what they're talking about. And it's like my brain is don't have the capacity to understand complicated abstract concept anymore. Like it's still understanding like psychological stuff fine, because that's my domain area, which I have interest in ever since I was a kid. And then I also my bachelor and my undergraduate were in psychology and sociology. So I think like it's still the one thing, if my interest that still remains even up until today at 42 years old. So that bit is kind of intact. So it's nothing um I'm worried about. Like if I read something about that, I can understand. I guess like I'm just and then of course like the question is like, then why are you worried about things that you're not supposed to have any expertise in? But I feel like it's one of those things that I want or I need to understand, because to keep up with just life in general, I guess. Because now I've seen all like the elderlies, and they're not really able to keep up with what's going on with the world, and it scares me a lot because I can see myself in that in 40 years, because the elderlies that I hang out with in the craft group are like 80 years old and stuff. And it starts now in your 40s, right? And I can definitely understand them, because now I don't understand what the 20-year-old is talking about. Like I'm not talking about like the cultural bit. I'm talking more like, work stuff. Not that I'm working, but like, just lingo that I would have understood when I was younger, probably. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. I feel like I am being left behind again, worse than I have ever been in the past before. And the feeling just makes me feel helpless, because it makes me feel like doesn't matter how long or how much I try, it will never work. And the leap and bounds between my anxiety is huge these days. It's like, this is what I was telling Claude to stop patronizing me, which was, um, I saw a bug on my pillow yesterday, and I have like my if you see, like I have like indoor plants, so every now and then there are bugs because plants comes with bugs, and because the soil that I use, I have been reusing ever since, I don't know, for years and years. The soil is probably there for decades. I just, sometimes I just pull out the plants and then I tip the soil over and then put it back into a new um, container. So I don't know what I would have, well, what I'm breeding inside, to be honest. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of bugs inside. So technically, I shouldn't be overreacting, but last yesterday, I was like, is this flea? Does it mean that I have to, strip bare all the things on this particular room? I have to wash everything. I just washed them like 2 days ago. Do I have to steam clean? Like this whole out of proportion type of reaction. And Claude was like saying, no, dude, you found a bug, you crushed it. That's the end of it. Like, yeah, if you want, you can, wash your sheet and stuff just to prevent further stuff. But there is no evidence that there is infestation happening. You've checked everything. You've checked your carpet. You've checked your bed. You've checked the animal, the cat and stuff. Because I checked it with, like, I brushed it with um, lice comb. I have it around. I don't have lice. I just like having that because it's one of those comb that is like very Japanese and also is very good for your Asian hair. Like very, like, because your Asian hair is very um fine. So if you use like the lice comb, it works as a brush. Like it would be like for a horse brush for blonde hair and stuff, or like very fine hair. It's like that. It's like lice comb is best kind of comb for thin Asian hair, which I use sometimes, not every time. But yeah, so I used that on the cat, and then I checked whether she has lice on, she has fleas or not. Mostly specifically around the neck area and also at the base of her tail, there was none. I got bitten for it quite a bit, so the price to check was quite expensive. Um, and I don't know, Claude was giving me pattern recognition diagnosis. It's like, you've done this a lot, like these days, like you've jumped from one thing to another. It's as if that, one thing leads to a bigger thing. Like there is a certainty in you that you, for example, like if the fridge sounds wrong, it means like, oh my God, that means $800 down the drain. It's like those things, like, I think, but at the same time, I was trying to justify myself. I'm like, yeah, but that's how it's all started in the past, like with that one sound. And then I ended up with $600 buying a new dryer after only 7 years using the previous dryer that I had to buy. It's like those things, like, and then, or like a roach infestation, which I think is happening in the building or something, and it was happening like a few months ago, and I thought, oh yeah, is it gonna happen again? Because I found like a dead roach, like one dead roach in the kitchen, and then I was just spiraling out of control. And Claude is basically saying, just one roach doesn't mean there's an infestation. But I told it that's what happened last time, and I have to pull out the whole kitchen out to clean so that I can make sure there is no infestation and stuff. um I feel like my paranoia and my overreaction comes from these past experiences that keep spiraling out of control, and I don't have any control over it, and I don't have any solution for it, and it just keeps demanding and demanding, and life doesn't give me any reprieve, doesn't give me any um break. It doesn't give me a break whatsoever, so I don't have any kind of space to breathe properly. Like I want, like from here on, like my second half of my life, just to breathe so that I can die in peace. Like maybe when I'm 82 or 90 or something. Um, I feel like, but if another 50 years of this, the same thing, I feel like, oh, that would be so much torture to live through. Hold on, I need to check on the cat. Hearing sounds. She ate the rest of her lunch. That's the noises. Um. Also, I'm trying to train the cat right now to finish her food, so she's not really happy with it. So she's eating like three times wet food during the day. The past 2 days. That's what I am trying to implement right now, which is I'm trying to get her to finish all her wet food, which she hasn't been doing, and it's totally my fault because what I've been doing was I am providing kibbles alongside her wet food. So she has choices to eat which one she wanted. So nowadays, like the past 2 days, I'm removing her choice for kibbles with her wet food. So her wet food is her only option during the day. And because overnight, I don't want the wet food to be sitting just over there, right? Because it's gonna invite a lot of pests. So I've decided the past 2 days that that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna offer the wet food during the day where I am up and around, and during the night when I'm asleep, I'm just gonna give her kibbles. Like that's the only food that is available, kibbles. So technically, she has like four food available. Like she's eating 4 times a day, kind of like so three wet food and overnight kibbles, which she does graze. Um, Overnight, and it also solved the issue of having wet food available throughout the night, so because like dry food is a lot less appetizing for pests. um she doesn't like it at all. She wants her kibbles available. She wants to have available food. I think because she's a stray, not having available food gives her anxiety, I think. It's like not having any bowls on her feeding station is giving her like, why is there no food in my feeding station? It's like that type of situation. Um, so I'm trying to stay strong. I'm not sure if this is going to last, but so far I have been having good results when it comes to her finishing her kibbles, her wet food, because there is no other option. She goes from eating mostly 3/4 of her wet food to eating close to 9/10, so or like 8/10, so close to finishing all of it. Um, but she does get anxious when it's finished because she doesn't know when the next one's gonna come. And she's right now demonstrating this behavior where she's basically scavenging for food because the food that she was provided for is done, which I'm not really approve of. Her scavenging for food because it's demonstrating a lot of not dangerous behavior, but like she is, going to she's exploring territories that could be dangerous, which you wouldn't probably have explored if she has like kibbles available um, for her. She also has learned to jump onto the kitchen basin, which I'm scared. Also, yeah, anyway. So she this week it will be 3 weeks after she has been spayed. There's still no adoption inquiry, and I'm kind of uh expecting that. Like I think an adult cat takes a while to get adopted, so I'm not really that worried a bit. I don't know. Maybe it will take a while, or maybe like her luck will turn. Either way, I will be very very sad the day that she will get adopted because it will feel very empty, and I'll be left behind with a lot of her stuff that I didn't have before. So it would be very weird. Even though it's only has been like 2 months Yeah, it's like today's the 10th of August, so it has been officially only 2 months, because I picked her up on the 10th of June, from the garden of the second time I met her. But it's weird because now, only 2 months in, I'm back to my old pattern of depression, like staying in bed until very late in the afternoon. Don't worry, like I wake up, give her food outside, like outside taking care of her logistic. I'm back to my old bad habit. So like at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, I get up, I give her food, and then I clean her litter box. I give her fresh water, and I recharge my iPad so that she gets to have her bird TV, cat TV on, and then I went back to bed. That's usually the routine. So she's always fed, and she always has fresh water, and her litter box is usually always clean. But in between those things, it's like I don't do anything. I'm just back to my old, maybe could be said like a destructive pattern, which is, just staying in bed, doom scrolling, and, well, in the morning I use it for EMDR buzzing these days, and I'm still applying the EMDR buzzing with listening to meditation and hypnosis videos from YouTube, and then I combine both of them. Mainly because I have this theory, right? For especially I'm a neurodivergent. Um, I've been like, in this manifestation industry, like, listening to it as a participant, as a consumer, not as a provider. Um, she's zooming. She has zoomies now. Um, for the past 26 years, maybe ever since I started uni, which is about 26 years ago. No, 25 years ago, I started uni at 2001. Maybe I realized, like, maybe I'm not manifesting things, like, because the premise of manifestation and hypnosis is very simple, right? You put your body into a parasympathetic state, or like in a trance state, which means like if it's a brain thing, the brain wave at a theta level, which is, if you have brain wave, usually it has alpha, beta, theta, and delta, and gamma. So beta, low, medium, beta is where we are right now. If you're awake, if you're listening to this, if you're alert, you're in beta usually. And usually if you're relaxed, you're in alpha, like when you are, listening to good music and you're just relaxing, reading. That's usually an alpha state, which is good because usually that's a very suggestible state as well. But trance and hypnotic state is usually on a theta wavelength. Theta is when you are in um, a hypnagogic state, which means like when you are in between sleeps, like, in the morning or before you go to sleep, or after you're awake, but you're not fully alert. So that in between sleep and alertness is usually that's the theta state. Or if you have had like a sleep paralysis, that's also a theta state. Um, and theta is usually where all the hypnotic suggestion can take place, and usually will take place, because theta is basically locking your body out from the equation. So it putting your body in total rest, or like it's basically kicking your body out. It's taking over your nervous system. So when it's super relaxed, so it's highly suggestible. So usually you want to use meditation to put you into that state. And gamma is where I think it goes, if you follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, the way he explains this, gamma is when you hit beta, and then it's like a hyper aware but the most relaxed state. So gamma is where like meditation. If you're a meditation master, you can reach gamma state. Gamma state is almost in a, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe like a divine state, kind of like it's a supernatural state. But I'm not saying supernatural in terms of like alien type of thing. No, it's like your brain just reaches to a state of that is transcending normal awareness that we are capable of knowing. But I think there have been studies of monks, Buddhist monks, that are very expert in meditation to reach gamma just by putting themselves into a meditative state, which is, I think, what Joe Dispenza is also researching and trying to document as well. So, well, you can research that for yourself. I haven't really researched deeply. And delta is where you are in deep sleep usually, and that's when most of our repair system takes place. So during the delta deep sleep rest. So with all of these wavelengths that I've told you about, so I was like, well, I'm experimenting with the fact that maybe because I'm a neurodivergent, right, and I only aware of it like the past decade or decade and a half or so. And if you're a neurodivergent, technically you are almost always in a flight and fight state of being. So you are actually not almost incapable of going into a parasympathetic system, which is probably why we have a lot of diseases in our body, a lot of comorbidity with other diseases. Like in my case, I have my Hashimoto, my autoimmune conditions. A lot of people have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, like EDS, I think, or um, and also, guys, I'm not a medical doctor or whatsoever. Okay, this is me just ranting from my brain from all the information that I've gathered. Um, so just disclaimer. Anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, so maybe the fact that I've never manifested things in my life is because I've been trying to manifest being a millionaire ever since I was 19 or like 17 and stuff, and I'm still poor and living in poverty, and probably, I don't know, I don't want to think about the worst case scenario, but it is definitely in like there. um so this is more like a structural kind of testing for me personally, like maybe because I my body has never gone into a parasympathetic system state where it was capable of receiving suggestions. Because to be able to receive hypnotic suggestions, you have to be in an extremely relaxed and trance state. So that's what I'm doing now with the MDR. I notice like when I use the MDR buzzers, I can go into I think a theta wavelength, because I notice that my body can go enter and then it dips, and then I don't remember anything that happens in between. And then when the EMDR session comes out, is finished, or like it finished buzzing, my consciousness raises back up. So I'm like, okay, so there's a gap there, where I don't particularly remember much. Or what happens usually is like half the time is that I am in this dreamlike state. So I know it's not really dreamlike like a REM state, because like in a REM state, you're from neck down, you should be paralyzed so that you don't act out your dream. But this is not like that. So it's similar. It's like I am looking at the visions like it's a dream, but I'm still aware of the room that I'm in. So it's more vision like dream like state. And sometimes it's disturbing. And when it is disturbing, I know that my brain is just processing a lot of things. Um, but anyway, so my point is, because all of these experiences that I've been having the past few years with the MDR buzzers, I'm testing now whether I can manifest, which I don't know, I'm very pessimistic about it. But for the sake of trying, I will. I'm putting hypnotic suggestions and meditation. First, I tried with yoga nidra because I want to make my two practices combined, and then I started kind of rotating yoga nidra with other stuff like meditation, affirmation, and hypnotic videos. I don't know the result yet because it's only been recent that I've been doing it. So maybe like a month max. I don't think you get results then. But I know by using the EMDR buzzing TriSense app, which is free, you can basically get it on the internet, which I get. So it's just TriSense, which is because it's three senses, so it's TriSense. So the app basically provides you with a visual sense if you want to do EMDR with a visual cues or with a sound cues. There's also that, but I'm using the tactical uh, senses, which is the kinetic senses, which is the buzzing. So it's just I don't have to open my eyes. I can just close my eyes and just hold it with two of my hands, and then it alternates using the bilateral stimulation. So um, it works for me. So I'll use that. So I don't know because I know with even just the pure bilateral stimulation, the past 2 years, it has downregulated a lot of the automatic anxiety responses. And even though like there are still a lot of symptoms flaring up everywhere, like my overreaction, for example, with one trigger, it doesn't really settle as much in the body as it used to. So I am aware that the I think the MDR um, self-help therapy is doing something to me physically as well. That's why I am trying to figure out whether it will work with this other thing as well. I know that takes a lot of time to explain, isn't it? But I'm just trying to say, like, I'm just trying to explain to you my thought processes of why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because there is evidence for myself based on my own practice, practically. Although it's not translated to money, which is very ashamed for me. Um, but hey, if you have anxiety, and if you can't function, I'm still not functioning to the level of what the capitalistic society wants me to, but I am kind of heading towards the right direction, I suppose. Um, Reaction wise, like the body's response wise. So yeah, I'm still ideating like crazy, so but it's not as intense as it was before. Now it feels more like the surface level more rather than the intense gut reaction. Like my gut has become a little less intense, 50% less intense possibly. So I feel like that's a good result somehow. And hopefully it's still in progress towards like maybe downhill to a zero response maybe in the future soon. And I know like what I'm telling you now is probably a very huge contradiction to what I was reporting earlier in the video. But the earlier videos is still valid because that is how I feel lately. That's how I feel is like when I see into the like I'm making progress internally, I think from my gut reaction, like literal gut reaction when it comes to a lot of dysregulation thing. But I am so far behind on the outside world that it is affecting me mentally, psychologically, that it just makes me freeze again. It makes me freeze and not wanting to move, not able to move forward. I want to move forward, but I'm not able to move forward. That kind of feeling. Um, yeah. Where is the kitty? Mimi, 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 Mimi. I don't know when she gets adopted whether she's gonna get a new name or not, but I am trying to get her to get used to with this name, mainly because of the scare that I had last time when I was losing her in the garden with the harness disaster. And back then, it was a month ago, I think. She hadn't had her spay surgery yet, so I was so scared that I couldn't find her and I couldn't get her back home. And I think I only been calling her for a month back then, Limi. So she doesn't. I don't know if she knew like her name was Limi. Well, that's what I call her. So now I'm trying to make sure that it sticks a little bit so that I have a little bit of recall power just in case like something happens. So if she recognizes my voice and her name, it would be great. Limi! Oh, here she comes. She knows her name. You want to say hello again to the people? But I have to pick you up. Hold on, I'll pick her up. She's gonna bite me probably. She doesn't want to get picked up. She ran away. Oh, well, she came. That's good enough. I should not be expecting anything more. Okay, thank you for coming. I appreciate you coming after I call you. And yes, I have adopted that really strangely, sweetly voice when I talk to her. I don't know why or how. I have. It's the voice, isn't it? Like that's what I have now. That's how I talk to her. Amy. Strange things. Also, I don't know. I feel like I'm delusional a lot. She wants to go outside to the balcony, but I don't want to chase her, so I'll do it after I finish recording. She just finished her meal and she wants to have another meal. I think her food insecurity is a little bit, I don't know. Maybe hopefully with this new schedule she gets feeling secure that okay, food is coming. Like it's just because no plate is in the feeding station doesn't mean there's no food coming later. Hopefully she learns that. Sometimes she checks whether I'm still alive or not when I'm sleeping. But I'm not sure if it's cute or whether it's a bit creepy. Maybe she just want to make sure that her food keeps coming if I'm dead, like she won't have food. But yeah, so I am living a contradiction right now. Like my outside world feels like it's drying up, like it's dying, like it's going towards death. Figuratively, not literally. But sometimes I do feel literally as well, like I wanted to just disappear. And I think like I was having this realization, like I felt like my consciousness is being erased from the world, like my existence, the consciousness that's relating to my existence have been erased from the world. That's how I felt. I felt like I no longer exist in this world, and it is a very scary kind of realization, but at the same time it's also feel impersonal. Like it's not personal, it's not like we are targeting you. It's just the way it is right now. It's like a lot of consciousness has been erased. It's I know it's nuts, but you know that's what's floating into my brain sometimes. I'm feeling very pessimistic as well as usual. But last week it was very bad. I felt very suicidal last week, like really bad. I knew he was going to pass, but because I just did my usual procedure, which was EMDR, I'm just trying to sleep early and take my vitamin D3 and stuff, which it passed after a day. So it only lasted like half a day or something. But it was really intense. But at the same time, I was able to separate it from my self is like I am watching this section of myself that having really strong ideation, but I myself that is kind of observing it, kind of know that this is going to pass anyway, so it's not a permanent state. So in my so from my perspective, from the observer's perspective, there's no danger because I knew it was going to pass and it wasn't going to do anything about it, so but it was, and I knew the cause of it. I think the cause of it is because I was drinking my decaf caramel latte for 3 4 days straight. I had 1 cup today again, so I hope tomorrow I won't drink it. And my gut is very sensitive to chemicals, so I think when you take away the sugar and also the artificial ingredients, the artificial chemicals in this sachet, and also I was drinking a lot of Coke, like no caffeine, no sugar Coke, which means like it's just pure chemical stuff and also artificial sweetener and stuff. So I knew to some degree it probably had something to do with that. So I was like, I was just gonna write it out, this yucky feeling. Um, and I was right because after about a day or two, and I was abstaining from drinking Coke and drinking the coffee. Um, I was back to my usual normal pessimistic stuff without the intense feeling of. So I was just back to flatness, not those intense feeling of negative, wanting to soul destruct. I guess what I'm experiencing out right now is just existential exhaustion. I am feeling existentially exhausted with life, immensely exhausted with life. It's like spiritually, I feel so much drained. I feel so drained that there's nothing left. Like if there is if like a bottle is filled with water and that water is a representation of I don't know, like spirit of life. It's like I can tip that bottle over and there's no drop of water left. Like that's how I feel right now. There's no drop of life left for me to suck from or to drink from. It's like I am so exhausted, I'm so dried out, and like it's like I don't know what to do. And if there is something to do, I don't know if I have the capacity to do it. Like my brain doesn't process it anymore. Probably sounds like an excuse, doesn't it? And that's it. I can't talk to anyone about it either because they just think that I'm lazy and I am don't want to do anything and to better my life, that I want a handout, that I want constant help. But that I do want constant help, and that's why I am, because like I've been doing all of it, everything myself, which is why I'm exhausted. But I feel like that's not appreciated in this particular community anyway, in this particular environment. Like I was like in one of those craft group, like in one of my craft groups, like because I go to many. One of the person was saying, "Oh yeah," because one person was complaining about another member. The other member was trying to get help for a pattern that they're trying to make, like either I don't know, a garment or a beanie or something. And this lady who is the person who's complaining basically said, "Oh, I was so afraid to come here. I was afraid that the lady is here, so I didn't want to come." um that lady, basically I met her in person in private to help her with the pattern that she was trying to make, and she just was so, I don't know what was she complaining about. The bottom line is like I think the other lady wanted to be really good friends with this lady, and this lady thought that she was just helping out with a pattern that she needed to uh, do. And I think there was a miscommunication there. And I think the intensity of the other lady that was absent was kind of freaking her out a little bit. And then one of the ladies in the meeting room was saying, "Yeah, I think she wanted to find a bestie in this kind of group meeting, which is what this is not about." And I kind of like it felt like a splash cold water over my face, and I was like, oh, I've been going to these kind of meetings for the past 10 years. Is that what it is? Like, this is not like someone basically saying it out loud, like right now, what I wasn't sure about. It's like, oh, okay, maybe I should stop going to these meetings. Like, what's the point then? I mean, like, so if you're gonna get, in trouble with something, these people are not gonna help you at all. Like, what's the point of building relationships where I'm not saying like, building relationship where there is no relationship. I don't know. I'm confused. Am I confused? I feel like so my kindness over the past 10 years, like suddenly it makes sense in my brain. Like, oh, okay, I should not have been giving away a lot of things in this kind of meetings, in these groups. I should not be offering a lot of, services in these groups because it will never get returned, because the mentality is this is not a friendly group, this is not a group where you make friends, this is just a group where you come together and do what it says, which is just do craft meetings and go to your private life again. And I'm like, maybe I should go find like people who actually want to form friendships, and maybe that should be something that is deliberate, something that I need to actually plan ahead, and maybe there's something that I should seek out, and hopefully, like the group, hopefully would be, um, I don't know, would be explicit in saying that, like, this is where you make friends, because apparently I've been going to the wrong kind of groups for the past 10 years. I'm not sure if that's a waste of time or not, but it felt like that when I was listening to that sentence being said out loud. So, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening to me. I don't know what to do with my disfiguration here. I need to do something about it. But at 42, I just want money. I don't care about beauty. But I think the world is still basically live with that particular motor of appearance is everything. Even like adopting a kitty, the fact that Amy is not a kitten and she's an adult female cat and not a Maine Coon and not a Persian, so she doesn't look pretty, means like her chances of adoptions is decreasing a lot. But so I don't know, maybe I am just too delusional about the world. Disillusion. I am disillusioned about the world, and I'm also delusional, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for listening to me rant. I appreciate it. Click subscribe and share and like and notification button and all that. If you want to help and support me financially, go to coffee.com/Valerine as well. It's going to be in the description box below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.